Okay, it is currently 6:32. We're starting the meeting at Bolton Free Library. This is our April meeting. Thank you all for coming, and I would like to introduce, has everybody met Christy Ann now? Has everybody been by? And this is our new director, and it's going really well, so I hope you all are as excited as I am with this new turn of events. So we will start then with the on the agenda, the last month's meeting minutes were sent out a couple days ago. I hope everybody had a chance to look at them. Does anybody have any corrections, any additions, anything to fix on those minutes? If not, if I could have a motion to accept the minutes. I make Tracy in a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor, pass the minutes, say aye. Those opposed? Okay, so moved.
Tracy.
Yeah. Okay, and from Justine, we have the treasurer's report. No, me and,
The library generated $7,044 of net income for March 2026, which is budgeted income was $8,001. We generated $21,931 of that's okay. Month to date was budgeted for $8,001, and the year to date was budgeted for $19,564, and we generated $21,931. I got my years and months mixed up there. The 1,721 month to date was 750 from Stewart's Foundation, 725 from the appeal letter donations, $152.68 interest. Circulation desk donations, $33, $11 in trivia donations, $39 in copy fees. Our annual appeal as of March 31st, year to date, we've received $10,255 from 41 donors. If anyone would like a breakdown of the last 4 appeal years, I have that as well. As for expenses, we have hometown oil, the Sal's circulation fee, Tracy's Twinkle Tunes, Up Yonder Farm, Family Passes, the Wild Center, Diamond Art Supplies, candy, coffee, and Diamond. Yes, I have those broken down as well, if anyone would like specific amounts.
any questions on that? The one thing I wanted to point out, we had asked what the total of the contributions was, and he did include that on the top of the paper there. If you guys saw that, for the appeal for 25-26 with a total of $32,285 from 262 donors. And if we compare that to each of the last years, it was considerably more. The year before was 26.9, 21, 24, and 23. So we were very fortunate to have a wonderful appeal.
There were some donations that were made in honor of Megan. There were
Yes.
some large ones that would be ones that we could expect every year.
Right, that's true. That's true.
They got lumped in there.
Mhm. Okay. If you look at the appeal expenses, it was much higher over budget. Do you think that's because we had to send out a lot more thank yous and it was, or would the thank you cards that we got have counted in that, do you think?
Probably.
Maybe that's why,
That's right,
because we
yeah,
bought a
and
whole
every
new
year.
section of thank you cards. Okay, that's probably what that was.
Maybe postage too.
And postage,
Yeah,
which has gone up.
Probably not, yeah.
Those two things. Mhm. So, and then I also noticed one other thing that's higher year to date and month is the copy fees. Are we doing a lot more copying than we thought and budgeted for? I wonder.
It doesn't feel like it, but I don't have numbers to back that up.
I know, and it's not, I'm not criticizing in any shape or form, but what I'm saying is next year we'll have to realize that we
Right.
need to do a higher budget line or higher amount for budgeting? Because we didn't have any, like nothing broke down, or do they send us like cartridges it's a set fee per month for the copier, right?
I think it's a monthly fee, but I'm not sure. And as far as the ink pouches go, those run approximately $100 per pouch and they're sent automatically. The printer machine sends a notice to North Country Document Solutions, which triggers the order of the ink pouches, which are mailed to us.
But the ink pouches are part of that monthly fee, right? We don't,
I would need to check to see what the terms are.
that's what I was just kind of curious about,
Yeah.
whether we just miscalculated what we spend or. Cause it's year to date, we're up $78.
Using more programming that
Yes.
aside that we're
Yes.
doing more printing.
Right,
Not
exactly.
copying necessarily,
Okay.
and obviously more color.
Color
and
ink.
stuff, so there might be some things we can do to
Right.
mitigate, but.
Did they charge differently for the colors than,
Yes, it's 15 cents a page for black and white, 35 cents a page for color.
that's what we pay the company?
Oh, no, I'm
No,
sorry. That's what
it's-
we charge patrons.
That's what we try, oh, okay,
Yeah.
but it does still cost us more if we put print for with color than
Yes.
black and white too, right? Because we're paying per copy to the company.
I don't know how that works. I can
Yeah.
go pull a
Okay.
file real quick.
I was just curious, I'm just curious. All right, other than that, looks really good. Any other questions or comments or anything about that? Then we go down to, oh. So now that we have a new director, we need to get her a credit card. And we had kind of talked about having two credit cards, one for Christiane as a director and one for Sarah, who would be doing the programming. We had actually gotten two, one for me and one for Sarah, but I don't need one. So we're gonna evaluate and try to get a new company, maybe using TD, the same place that we have the bank, rather than Bank of America. So over the next month, we're gonna research that. But I would, as the finance committee, we would like to make a motion to get a credit card for our new director. So all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Okay, so moved. And do you think we should also vote on having a second credit card and an addendum to that recommendation? I'd like to say that we'd like to have two credit cards rather than one credit card, one for each of them. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay,
So you did on the treasurer's financial report.
I think we don't,
You do, you always do.
we never did.
Yeah,
Did we?
you're supposed to, because you're financially responsible.
I thought we did it in the committees, at the end of the
You
committee.
can't, no, the board has to,
For some
so
reason,
that's why it's have an asterisk.
okay. Yeah, I wonder why we never did that before. All right, well, can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by Lynn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, so moved. So the director, take it away, Christine.
I realize it's a very robust report in multiple pages. I wanted to present it more as bulleted and not a lot of reading sentences and stuff, so hopefully that made it easier for you guys to read. Essentially, I just wanted to show what I've done or things that are kind of coming up. So I've only been here a couple of weeks, beginning my third week, and what have you, and and then to sort of highlight some items for you on here. So for instance, I don't know how many of you have ever attended or would like to attend the annual trustees meeting and dinner on May 18th. It's something that the trustees would attend, not necessarily all of them. So there is a sign up sheet, so I can certainly send you guys the information. And if you want to respond back to me, I can put you down on the list. My understanding is that the board of trustees would be paying for those attending. Is that how we've done it in the past?
Yes.
So there's that. So
And where's it located?
it's under important dates under Southern Adirondack Operations.
No, I mean, where's the dinner?
I can't remember the location off the top of my head.
Was it Queensberry? Yeah, I think that's what, my point was that it's very local. So,
Okay, yes.
so if people wanted to attend, it wouldn't be like you had to go down and it's to Saratoga. It may, I think it's the Queensberry Hotel, right?
I think you're right.
Yeah, the Q. So, you
So
know,
yeah, it'll be in that information. In fact, there's sort of two attachments that they sent. One is the registration form. Anyway, but it'll have all that detail, so I will send that along to you guys. So if you wanted to at least make a note for yourself, if you're interested. The other item I wanted to highlight is that Sal was able to obtain, fill out an application to obtain free, all expenses paid, travel and accommodation for somebody to attend the IMLS Library Convening 250 Telling America's Story event in Washington DC from the 10th through the 12th of June. And so because Sarah has pulled together some of the programming, there's a grant workshop that's one of the days, things like that. She'll be attending on behalf of the library and giving a plethora of information to bring back to us to make it, easier, more helpful, and learn tricks of the trade and that sort of thing for the library. And just to let you know, I broke the director's report down into sort of a bigger picture and then down into details and things like that, depending on what your interest level might be. With everything, I put in all my trainings, so on and so forth, and and then I put in the monthly stats in here, but of course I also presented sort of a month view as part of the attachment that I sent the following day, which was yesterday. So at some point, I probably won't put it in the director's report and I'll just use the statistical information so that way you can see a trend. Because it's not gonna make sense that we had 427 Libby users, because you're not gonna know if that was better or worse than the month before. You're just gonna know it's 427, and that could sound really great, but it could be pretty horrible. I know that Sarah's gonna go over some of the grant stuff, so I've just highlighted a couple of items. One is the BCS birthday books, which, as I mentioned, Sarah will go into details on. And then one thing that we do need a vote from you guys, I don't know that you're aware, but anytime we go for a grant, we need to get the Board of Trustees approval before we submit for a grant, because you are fiscally responsible, so you need to know what's going on, with the library, so on and so forth. So in this particular case, the LSTA has a competitive grant that's focused on literacy outreach and a bunch of other things that really tie in well to the long range plan that you guys pulled together. So I have at least submitted the notice of intent that we're interested in going for it, but that doesn't commit us to anything, but at least they know that we're going to move forward. We did have to pull in place getting the SFS grant management system certification in place. We sort of were like halfway through it, but didn't quite complete it. And there's still some other steps that we need to go through. But Sarah and I had a brainstorming session probably in my first week of like, should we do it? Should we not? What should we do? And then we decided basically to initially focus on sort of STEM activities for all ages. And then we realized that maybe we should add the arts in. So we're going to do STEAM activities. So I did pull together a proposal as one of the sheets, just so that you can get an idea of some of the things we might be doing. And the grants, I believe, is from October of this year until June of next year. And so really we're looking at bringing in some materials, some presenters, a bunch of other things. And I don't know if you have any questions on the proposal that
so this is the one you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the proposal.
Okay, so would we need to vote on it tonight to go ahead with it, or
We would, because, well,
or do you, when you're done with it, do we?
it's that you want to move forward with it. Is what the vote is for, and then we would move forward. I mean, we could wait, but we'd have to have it all together. No, because the next board meeting is on the 20-something and it's due on the 15th, so we would miss the deadline.
So we need to vote on it tonight.
That you think we should go ahead with it. So I didn't know if anybody had any questions on it, any concerns with it,
So when we get to grants, should we make the recommendation at that time, or would you like to make it
You
right
can
now?
do it at that time, or you can do it now. I had just put it in my report to remind myself that a vote was needed.
Okay, let's go ahead with it now then.
Okay.
Would like to, she would like to make a recommendation that we go ahead with the
LSTA competitive grant.
yes, LSTA competitive grant. And all those in favor to apply for this grant, say aye, say yay. All those opposed? Okay, so then it's approved.
So we'll keep you up to date, as we're going through it and can let you know, certainly by the next meeting. Always come up with in more detail. And then in terms of the actual statistics, were there any questions about any of the graphs, any of the information that you would want me to go over at all? I know it's probably a little bit more than you've had before.
Mhm.
I like the
Okay.
visual aspects, by the way.
I didn't say,
I like,
Yeah.
yes, I didn't see the graphs.
Okay.
I,
so mean, if you want-
that's in probably the package.
So I
you
sent
left.
them,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
exactly.
have. Oh, okay.
That packet, yeah. So
Okay.
some of the,
So does this show us then compared to the other year yet? Yeah, there it is.
no, we didn't do year to year, we did month to
Okay.
month.
Month to month.
Yeah.
Okay.
So ultimately, some items we didn't start tabulating until March, so I put in a note in there, which is why you'll see like a couple of blue lines and then all of a sudden one's blue and orange or whatever the color scheme might be. So I tried to clear that up. So then you can at least get the trajectory. And then obviously if something starts to tank or explode in either direction, then we'll be able to speak to it of, we had to close the library for several days or, we had a, big boatload of seniors come in or something like that. And anyhow, so it'll give you a sort of a better understanding of that. Okay, great. Yes.
All right, very good. Anybody have any questions or?
He loves a grant.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, it helped me to, better understand where you guys have been this year, even though we're really at the beginning, through the first quarter. And so then it'll help to sort of get a sense of things. And at some point, we can look back on the 25 detail and then sort of see where we were then compared to now, maybe at the 6-month mark and, what have you.
Anybody else have any questions? And training then, do you think that will go through the end of this week or how much? How do you?
We
What do
will
you
go
think?
through the end of this week. Definitely I wanted to get through up to the board meeting.
Mhm.
Only because there are certain things that happen every 2 weeks, some things happen every 3 weeks.
Mhm.
And a month obviously is a little bit longer than we need because Sarah's been really helpful and available. So I think next week we're gonna actually start on to a slightly different schedule for the staff. So I finally had a chance to sit down with Linda and Sarah and come up with something. And one of the things that I recognized is that for safety reasons, it's beneficial for us to have 2 people closing the library because something could happen to someone, they could fall, hurt themselves, can't get up, and nobody's gonna be there till the next day, and that just would not be a good situation. So ultimately, I'm trying to work on a schedule that has a couple of people working in the evening, and then I'm okay with one person opening in the morning, only because somebody's gonna be in the library within 15 minutes, because that's what the trend is, right now, as far as I can see with the flow. And so some of the things that I'd like to pull in place are to see if we can work with the high school and see if we can get a volunteer to come in as a page, which is the person who puts the books on the shelves and takes them off the shelves. And then that way they can get their, high school equivalent stuff for graduation and things like that. And at least it's 2 people. If not, do we want to get some volunteers in here? And then we would see if they could do an evening shift versus a day shift and what have you. And then other than that, we'll just, do the best we can to make sure that we're safe, that, we're able to, be open the hours that we're open and all that, and still make sure that it's workable. And also want to look at adjusting so that we don't have people working 10 or 11-hour days without any real break and stuff, because the Tuesday and the Thursday are not sustainable. So really what you have is not sustainable. And what we want to do is sort of find a way that's sustainable without going over budget and things like that, but we might want to look at next year's budget and sort of figure out what can we afford and what can we do to make it, easier for all involved, so.
Okay. All right. Any questions there? Anybody? Okay, and we vote for to accept the director's report.
You don't have to accept the director's report.
Okay.
Always. If you want to, you
Yeah,
can.
yeah, that's fine. I don't know why it was the opposite before, but.
Yeah.
All right, then that brings us, let's see, wait, it's almost my agenda. That brings us down to the committee reports. It's starting with buildings and grounds. Lynn, do you want to, just let everybody know about our meeting today, a little bit about our meeting today?
We had a meeting, Linda, Christiane, and myself, and what was it?
Yeah.
And Carla showed up.
Oh, Carla was there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, basically, we went over, we're looking at the long range plan. To 1, 3, and 5 years. So because Scott wants information on, so he can put it into the budget, I'm assuming.
A long-term plan,
Long-term plan.
yeah, long-term plan.
So we met and we went over, okay, what do we want to tackle this year? What do we want to tackle in 3 years, and what do we want to tackle in 5 years?
Right, and we're gonna write up a report
Yeah.
and give it to Scott, but we could also send it out to the rest of the group.
Right.
But I also wanna,
And Sue's been working on it.
yeah.
Files. She has been going through the files and she's trying to, and also picked Carla's brain and Michelle.
And Michelle's brain,
And
walking down the street, I saw Michelle and said, hey.
so she's been putting together files so that all of the information that of maintenance and all that is in a file here in the library.
Right, I think we had it filed by grants and things
There was-
rather than filed by,
All sorts of things.
yeah, so it's all gonna be in one place, and Sue's put a lot of time into that, so I wanna really thank her for
Yeah.
doing that, that was a lot.
It's
So, and it's still, it's kind of, she's like Nancy Drew of, telling a me.
I prefer Inspector Clouseau.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, and,
You're still working on that flagpole.
no, it's done.
Oh, it is. Oh, I
Yes.
didn't even.
You
see
didn't even know. It's
it.
been up for a week. Right, it's been up for a week.
Did we do it in the snow?
Yes, it's up and it's done and it's beautiful. So that's why we're getting lights for it. That's one of our,
Yes, getting lights.
projects for this year, getting
Are we gonna be able to
light
get
out
them up
there
there?
and light for that.
Well, they're.
that?
That's
They're gonna
next
put it
month.
on, they're gonna mount it on the building,
Yes.
Oh,
the light.
is it
It's gonna look.
down
somehow-
facing and
yeah,
shielded?
yeah.
Facing and shielded, yes.
We're gonna figure.
Yes, well,
Okay.
but, so I think that, anybody have any questions about, I think that's pretty much it with buildings and grounds.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
What is the update on the locks on the door for the library? I guess this one doesn't function in the front door.
It does sometimes.
But it doesn't always.
The key does.
So should we look about, that's what we probably should have asked Carla to get it replaced.
I think it runs around $600 or $700. At least that's what the original one cost. We've checked into the warranty previously. It's not covered by warranty. So if we want to do anything with it, it'll most likely end up being a full replacement. If we want.
Okay, the only other option besides replacing that keypad is to just go back to just a lock.
Key lock.
I mean, it has a key lock on it now, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So anybody, I
That's
mean,
how we
we
access.
just, if anyone wants to get in, we just make sure they have a key. And this is still the same lock we've had on there for like the past 10 years, right?
It is.
So there is a possibility that there are a lot of people here in town that have a copy of it.
I believe
that-
so.
So maybe we should just put a whole new lock on it and just do keys? Or do you think it's a real benefit to have a keypad?
The benefit with the keypad is that if we have a contractor working in here, we can give them the secondary code. They can come and go and nobody needs to be here at 7 a.m. or whenever to let them in if it's someone who's done this before. And then we can change the code as soon as the job is done.
Keys can be lost.
Keys can be lost,
Keys can be locked in the building.
but that is, I think, the only benefit to the code. It runs on batteries, which have to be changed
All right, then maybe we really should just have, I mean, because it's not only getting a new one, but someone to install it, correct?
Correct.
So it's $600 probably for the mechanism and then whatever else it is to install it.
So you say you'd rather have just keys?
No,
No, go.
no, she's saying that pad is,
Keypad.
his keypad is a good idea. All right.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Yes,
Oh, I personally, I think it's just the key, a physical key is the way to go, but I also see the argument for the code.
with the
If we have contractors letting them in and out.
right, right. I'll talk to Carla about it again one more time, but you're right, we should change the lock anyway and put on, and either do another code or, you know,
Or both.
both.
I just wanted to add one more thing.
Yes,
I'm thinking at farmer's market, because that means somebody has to be in here bright and early every
Right.
Friday morning.
Mhm.
If we do change the lock, will both locks be keyed the same way, or there will be two separate keys? I think it's convenient to have both keys the same, both locks the same key.
Yeah, currently the front door and the side door are two different keys.
okay. When are we gonna get, would it be possible when we get this door replaced, whatever key gets used for that, we can make sure we have the same for here,
We could ask.
right?
Yeah, that's probably a possibility.
So we could kind of do both at the same time and have the same key for both, because I think he's looking to do that sometime in the next couple of months. According to Carla today.
So what
So
would we do to get in the meantime?
in the meantime, several of us have keys if you need a key to get in. Do we have extra copies?
No, I've given out all the keys. In January, I started a list to try and find out which trustees had a front door key and which had a side door key. So those have been accounted for, but I don't know, what other ones are out there. And we no longer have extra copies. Christiane now has one of each as the new director. But we are out of the front door key and the side door key.
In the meantime, could we at least make one more key for Sue to use until,
Because
or I
at
can,
farmer's market, I'll need a key.
Mhm.
well, we're hoping to have it all. The farmer's market starts, the beginning of July, right?
No, the last Friday in
In
June.
June, okay. So we do have a couple months until then. We'll see if we can get an idea of when he's gonna get this store done and then coordinate it and get you a key ahead of time. If you-
I have a side door key at home that I can give you.
Great.
I have a front door key. I have a front door. I can give out my side door key.
Okay. All right, great. Then we'll go down to finance. Just gonna
So
give
on
them-
the long-term plan, the capital expense budgeting is being worked on, in line with that. And then the second half of the $90,000 commitment from the town of Bolton is expected soon.
Great. And the other thing I was just thinking about is we do have to renew the CD in May, right? So, but it's not until our next meeting is May
20th?
20th.
Okay, it says that it will be maturing on 5/21.
Yes, so we'll be able to vote, we'll vote on it at the next meeting. And we'll get the rates ahead of time. So vote on it then.
What is current rate?
What's the current rate? 3.2.
3.25.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
That's okay. I was gonna say 3.15, so I'm glad you had the exact number. So, okay, all right, so we'll move down to the book sale. Anything to report?
A lot of books are coming.
Lot of
I
things.
sorted today.
Yeah.
She's gonna sort tomorrow. We have a lot of puzzles and big variety.
All right, and we'll move down to fundraising. We have that.
Okay, I am very excited. Last month I showed you not a prototype, an example of the type of ornament that you can make. This is a prototype that I'd like to share with everybody.
I think we should have a drum roll. Look how
Pass it around. The
beautiful.
only thing that's missing, it will be glued together.
Yes.
And I have to check back with Stephanie, but all the others have a background.
Mhm.
And so I don't know if she would just have to add another sandwich, as I call it, to it. but I've seen others that she's done that way.
Mhm.
So
So-
I'm really proud of this.
Yes, you should be.
In production yet, my
Mhm.
biggest question is, how much do I order? I don't want anything with a date on it, because then it become obsolete by
Right.
December,
Right.
you know, and if these are going to be ongoing.
That
these-
is really
No,
cute.
Oh, that's
Isn't that
nice.
beautiful?
Yeah. I'll share that, yeah.
Yes.
Just like it. Now, the other question I have is, I originally thought that we wanted to work with our library logo.
Mhm.
Right, and then feedback from last time was that we needed the building itself, because that might just be something that a tourist might be reflective of, rather than just that book. So she said that she could make a prototype of this one as well. Now, as a group, do we think that's a better, good idea to have two choices, and maybe not as many of this one? Because I think it has a limited appeal,
I
but you
think
think
that would be much better than the logo for many different reasons, but mostly farmer's market is not just local people.
yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that looks beautiful. I mean, it's hard to imagine that one looking nicer than that one.
Yes.
But,
She's a very creative person,
mhm,
and easy to work with. You know,
that's
right,
great.
you know, I can get orders over the summer if we want, sure.
Right. So should we start with just this one and see how it goes?
I think that would be.
And if it goes, I mean, if it goes like gangbusters and you think that people would want another option, maybe we can have her do one of those next year.
Next year.
And it could, people could add to their collection. But we'll see how
After
it
2
goes.
years, I don't know what else to add.
I know. We might not have anything after
Like
that.
bulb.
Like bulb.
Yeah, that's missing, right?
So that's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, thank you.
So, and, the plant sale, Carla usually kind of does that on her own, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't ask for any help from anybody, but if anybody wants her number and wants to offer to help with it or anything, but I think she has a group of ladies that normally helps her with that, right?
I think the last time she did it, she had a trustee or two and a friend or two, and she pulls the car up and she's got hundreds of potted plants started. And then people know they get here early to purchase. So she does a lot of the early
They're very
purchases.
healthy.
Very helpful. Okay, good. All right. And, so that brings us down to the pickleball tournament. I've tentatively picked the date of June 21st and 22nd, and I got in touch with Michelle, from Recreation. I have to fill out a form for the township, so I'm waiting to hear back from them. And after I hear back from them, I'll put in for a couple of, is it okay if I go for the not the holiday grant, but the other grant? And then, that will help pay for the insurance, because we'll have to let the insurance company know, and the insurance usually runs about $400. So, I have been putting several feelers out into the community, and I've gotten 3 volunteers so far in the community that will help with that. So that'll help us out, so we don't have to do as much, as much. So, any questions about that?
Days of the week, is it Saturday, Sunday?
Saturday,
Wednesday?
Sunday, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that brings us down to grants. Sarah, take it away.
Okay, we just received, there's a big box on the desk. A couple months ago, I had applied to the WAMC Early Literacy Library Event Kit. They co-sponsor that with WMHT Public Media and I believe Hudson Headwaters. So we were selected for this round, and it's just a big kit. It's 25 hardcover books with Big Bird, talking about Big Bird's Big Bad Day. We get 25 of those, 25 craft kits and assorted paperwork and bags to hand out. And the idea is to hold a children's literacy event. This is for libraries, schools, and things like that. And so it was given to us free, and we'll probably set up 2 programs to cover that, for probably use that in May for the story time as part of the story time. So everyone who attends will get a free Sesame Street book and craft, and they'll have a handout and they'll fill out a form. And so it's just another way to get books in the hands of children and promote early literacy.
Great.
So that was nice, and that was free. And the other thing is, we have the Lake Placid Foundation grant is coming up. It's going to be due June 1st. So that'll be something to think about. we got a grant from them last year for approximately $1,000. That's how we purchased our high resolution projector that we've got. So if anyone has any ideas, we're very open to hearing what you think. Otherwise, we'll probably look at programming supplements, ways to get folks in for more programs that cost some more money. That would be great. And we're also looking at ways to partner with BCS and Bolton After School program as well to do more combining community outreach programs with literacy projects as a way to strengthen our ties and keep going on our primary mission. So those are the two that are in the news.
So, long range plans, any changes there?
No updates.
No updates.
Who's keeping track of where we are with the long range plan?
In terms of,
Make sure that you're meeting your goals that you set on a regular basis. I'm happy to do that. I just, because, it's not something that you do and then just put it in a drawer and hopefully you meet the goal at the end, right? And stuff, so I just, didn't know if people touch base.
in other words, but we would utilize our reports and then, calibrate that with the long-term plan, right? I mean, would you do that at the end of the year, or you think you do that monthly or every
You
6
do
months,
it
quarterly?
periodically throughout the year because
Okay.
you've got a 5-year plan. And so you just need to make sure that you're remembering A, what it is, and B, that you're moving along that plan.
Right.
But sometimes something happens and then it's like, well, we're not doing that anymore, and you take it off the plan and you just keep going. So I just, you have had it now, obviously only a quarter, right? Because it was
Right.
recently approved, but I just didn't know if there was whoever may have been on the committee to put it together, if it wasn't the whole board, then is that group sort of keeping track and making sure we're moving forward? And if not, then I'm happy to put it in the director's report and, and show you where we are as we move
Okay.
along the.
I think that committee would probably be willing to meet maybe with you would that be something like if you had a quarterly meeting or every certain amount of months and then have them come with you and then go over that? Because that way they understand what is going to be done and they can help you with that or,
Or so we can see.
I mean,
about
whatever you think. But we do have, I think Tracy, who's on the committee with you? So we don't have it on, we used to have it on.
Yeah, I think that's what they do.
Okay, yes, okay.
All right.
So in other words, that way, if we have a committee, they should in some way be part of that.
Yes, but you
Right.
guys could have just had a committee to pull it together and then that was it. And
Right.
it's like the rest of the board's now in charge. It could have gone either way and I
Yes.
just realized I didn't.
I don't
ask the
think
question, so I didn't know.
we didn't think to take it a step further, right? So, if that's what we should do though. Yeah.
It's not a should or shouldn't, it's really a like wherever it, I mean, we can start with me presenting where I think we are, and I can touch base with those who were on the committee. And then we can move forward. And if we feel that we need to have a meeting prior to the board meeting, we could certainly do that. But if we feel like
You're
what's
just
being
gonna-
presented is
okay.
moving along, then,
Okay.
and it's for the entire board, then that's okay too. And so it
Okay.
can go. So I'd say less meetings for now, and if we need
Right.
time to connect, then we can look into that.
Okay. Personnel committee, doesn't have anything to report other than we have a new director. So, and we will be working on the policies and procedures and handbook over the next 6 months or so, forever, however long it takes, but take little bits at a time to make it a more robust document.
Yeah, essentially my goal, once I'm sort of finished my onboarding is to really look at some of the administrative components that really need to be looked at and making sure that we have everything in place. The job descriptions might be a little bit out of date, which are part of your employee handbook, which I don't know that they necessarily need to be in there, but if you guys feel that they need to be, then they need to be updated, because at this point, with all the transition that you've had, I'm sure someone else is doing something now, and so then we need to move that in the right place and make sure that the people do want to do it, or maybe they want to go back to their original job, or, however that's supposed to work. And so that's sort of the fundamentals of that. And then I did read through all the policies, 87 pages of it. And ultimately, we need to break down and have you guys work on a policy at a time, not an entire document, because you're gonna read it and say it looks fine and not realize that there's some contradictions in there. So ultimately, and also you need to vote on each individual one as we go through, and those need to be dated in the document, because it looks like you voted on them all together at once. And that's probably not the case. So we just need to, and ultimately, the policies, most of them are the required ones, have to be looked at every 5 years. So at that point, we can create a timeline and know that, 5 years from now, oh, it's time to revisit this policy and time to revisit that policy. So I wouldn't want to do, 20 of them in 1 year, because then 5
Thank
years,
you.
you're gonna do 20 of them. So we're just gonna pick and choose the critical ones and then go through them and make sure.
I
that
think what
we're-
we had done before is just put amended in the front, but you're saying each policy should have its own date.
It should, yes. So, and then each policy, once the date is on there, it should then have amended, this policy amended. Because you have a full policy manual with a date on it, but you don't know that all the policies were voted on that one day, and if they were, I mean, it's like reading,
War and peace.
yeah, and as if you comprehended the whole thing, and the reality is that, your policies may not be reflective of your community as much as you think, or you might be missing something, and so, and again, there is some contradiction in there where I was like, no, that's interesting, and I went back and I was like, okay, well, we'll deal with this later, and then they're not critical, but, it happens when you're doing such dry stuff.
Right, and a
Like a
big time of
textbook,
time.
And then at the end, you're like, I wish I had more breaks.
I think we we had a policy and procedure manuals just as a result of getting the certification from the library. When you had to do what was it called, best practices, or
Yeah.
do you remember what
3 or 4
Michelle
years ago.
and Megan had gone through about, must have even been longer than that because it was before I got here.
Oh.
It was some kind of minimum standards is what it was.
Yeah, so there are minimum standards, and part of that is that the policies need to be checked every 5
Right.
years
Mhm.
or what have you, and that's.
So I think that's when they
Yeah.
started.
Yeah, it was like in 2021 or something, they had shifted the minimum standards.
Right, okay. All right, that sounds like a lot of fun, can't wait.
All right, part of the job.
Yes, I know.
You love and hate me.
All right, let's go into the Sunshine Committee, that's a lot more fun. So, Barry Kincaid, since that poll is up.
Finally sent it
Yes.
out.
It is up, it really is. And I have to get you we got a locked file cabinet that was donated by David Becker. I'll have to get that address. I meant to do that.
Okay.
He lives right on Stewart Avenue, but I don't know the number, so I have to figure that out, and I'll get that to you, Mary. So
Okay.
anybody else know of any thank yous that need to be written? Anything else that was donated, or anything that anybody's done for us that we need to acknowledge?
Thanks.
There were volunteers at this story time.
Oh, Dina and Lois.
Yeah, I don't know if you usually do that for volunteers. but-
Yep, that might be nice. I can give you their names. It's
Okay.
Dina Schmidt and Lois Long. I'll get you their addresses.
They helped with the music.
The story time.
Yeah,
The story
yeah.
time.
Kind of corralling children.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep, and-
Yeah. Yes, no, that's great.
I'll send them a thank you.
And they're both interested in coming back and doing that again,
So
so
Okay.
the double thing.
I talked to both of them after and they'd like to do more, so I'll get them to schedule it when it comes out for each month.
Oh, that's great. So that
Yeah.
would be a good reason, and say, we'll look forward to seeing you in the future.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Long and
Dina.
Dina Schmidt.
Okay,
Oh, Dina.
right then,
Dina.
Yeah.
I need a motion to accept the committee reports. Justine will make a motion and Lynn will second it. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? Oh, they're moved. All right, so, old business, we're instrumental, Sal's program put instruments into the hands of local students. We're a drop-off point.
We signed up to be the drop-off point. That's where people can donate old instruments they no longer want to the libraries that have signed up for this. And Sal's, we will send it to Sal's in Saratoga to interlibrary loan, and they are going to be the consolidation point, and I'm not sure what they're going to do with them. But it's a way to keep instruments rotating through the communities, reduce, reuse, recycle. But I have not heard anything further on that program, but we did sign up to do it.
Okay, would we then also want to do local social media for it? So that our community knows to bring them here?
Once we hear more about it
Okay,
and
yeah.
it gets off the ground, definitely.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. Because there could be people here
Yeah.
that have instruments they're not using anymore. The yoga, as it turned out, the yoga teacher, is doing Friday mornings at the, recreation building for chair exercise for seniors. So I had reached out to her and said, let us know if you think there's any other times, but then we talked about it a little bit more, Sarah, Christiane and I, that, since there are several places she's already doing yoga and exercise, we don't need to saturate, I don't think, this area anymore with that, and that maybe we would have our focus be a little bit more, another kind of wellness, like meditation or something that's maybe more in line with the library and less physical, more mental exercise, something like that. If anybody has any ideas, let us know. Okay. Town meetings, I did not get to go to the April one, and the May one is on a day that I'm having sinus surgery, so I didn't know if anybody was interested in going. Had you thought about going to a town meeting at some point?
Yes.
Just to, if you decide to go to that meeting, maybe we could find if anybody else is available, or maybe we could wait till the June meeting. I don't know. Maybe look at your schedule and, have one of us go with you, so you don't have to go.
So are you the liaison for the meetings?
Well,
Because it was basically,
Mhm.
this was an agenda item to have a liaison.
oh,
Would have somebody go to each meeting, because if there's a decision made that you guys don't know about that could affect the library,
well, we have really not gone to every meeting. We've only had people volunteer go to every couple,
Okay.
just to, touch base and let them know, especially if new things are going on. In other words, once our summer program is up and running, that we'll want to take, a schedule of all the summer programs. But, it wasn't a regular thing. We've
Okay.
got every other one or something.
Okay, I misread it then
Yeah.
in the minutes. so I
Yeah,
apologize.
okay. No, it's
When
okay.
is the May one? So
What's that?
what's the date?
That it's the first Tuesday, right? That we have, I
It's,
think, on our,
It starts from
May
the
5th.
fifth.
Yeah, May 5th.
May
And if you get
May
there
5th.
and you have something to say, they let you say it first, and then they say literally,
Mhm.
you believe them,
yes.
okay?
So, but that is, and that would be the case if you did go, you would just, it'd be nice, I think, if you went with somebody else.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So if you, once you find out a date, maybe you and I could go.
Yeah, my classes end
Mhm.
sometime mid-May-ish. So my thought is that maybe doing it for June, and settle in a little bit more before I meet the government.
Right. That's always a good idea.
I wear a suit
Okay.
and tie.
All right.
You'd be the only one.
Yes.
I wear jeans and a plaid jacket.
Okay, so moving on to new business, fun. We get to have a new director party on May 7th. And hopefully everyone is able to attend. It'll be a nice time for us to invite the community. I mean, we had a lot of people show up for Megan's, retirement party. I hope we have that same kind of group that comes for a new director. So we'll do, I'm sure, a lot of social media on that and hopefully get a group, and especially if we will send it to the chamber and you kind
It's
of
gonna
mentioned
go all
the
throughout
different-
town and Joan's gonna help me. We've got laminated announcements that'll be
Oh,
going up
great.
on the community bulletin boards.
Wonderful,
And I'll send it up to our usual list.
That's their organization.
beautiful.
Yeah,
They look
Sarah's
great.
taking care of it, yeah.
They look great.
Yep.
So, all right, so, and then we were talking about a flagpole celebrations. Anybody have any thoughts on that, or would want to put anything together for that? Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be around that weekend, but it would be nice to have some kind of dedication. Can we do something before, or after the parade? I mean, or the parade goes by here, or?
I don't know, we could ask Matt Kelly and the American Legion,
Yeah.
maybe they could do something, a little brief ceremony.
Before the parade?
They start right here.
Yeah, they start